Today's topic is mindfulness and sustainability. We have Jennifer Hannum joining us. She is a founding partner of Center for Mindful Business, an environmental scientist, and she also is the CEO of her own company, Blue Heron. Heron or Harem. She'll have to clarify that for me. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for agreeing to share your wisdom with us. Is there anything you want to add to the intro before you jump into the topic?
That would be Blue Heron, like the bird, Blue Heron Environmental. And
Thank
I
you.
guess I just want to say I've been a lifelong lover of the outdoors and particularly anything saltwater related or touching salt water. That seems to be my happy place. Although the forest is pretty nice too. And like Heather said, I'm a career environmental scientist. I've had the good fortune to work um, outdoors on transportation and large infrastructure projects. So driving around various parts of states, um, seeing what kind of impacts the projects will have, and then trying to mitigate for them. So it's been an interesting career so far. And I am also a recent MMTCP graduate with Don's cohort here in 2023. Somehow we're 8 months past when we graduated already. So that's exciting. Heather, do you want me to just start? Okay. All right. So we're talking about, Heather was asked for a small discussion on mindfulness and sustainability, and I'm thrilled to do that today. There's a lot to talk about with sustainability. There are a lot of avenues and paths. Um, I thought I'd start with my own path to sustainability or sustainable behavior as well. I came to sustainability through trash, just like Oscar the Grouch. When I was a little kid, I wandered along picking up trash on the beach, on roadways. I got a Girl Scout badge once for trash, picking up so much trash, like so many bags full of trash. Um, and as a teenager, as a young person, I was very upset by the images of turtles and birds and other wildlife getting stuck in six-pack plastic rings. So I think my first radical act for sustainability was to start to anytime I saw them in anybody's house, and I still do this to this day, I cut them apart. I take them and cut them apart so no one gets stuck. Um, but as a teenager, I grew up in a very rural part of southern New Jersey, which is on the East Coast, near Philadelphia. It was all farmland when I grew up there. And I witnessed firsthand the impact of unchecked garbage and trash without any thought to recycling or reducing. Um, by seeing people I knew lose their family farms that had been in their families for generations, and I think in some areas it was since the founding of America. They've had farms there. The state came in and took over their farms and built a trash dump on them, and literally just trucking in trash, garbage trucks full, um, from other states from and the greater Philadelphia region. And that's kind of how they treated the farmland. And I thought that that was the most ridiculous waste of good farmland soil that I had ever seen. And I was only, a teenager at that point, so I hadn't seen much, but it seemed ridiculous to me. And I thought, why aren't we recycling more? Why is all this stuff? First of all, why aren't all townships and cities managing their own waste instead of buying farms in a whole nother state? And then also, why aren't we recycling? And I thought recycling was the answer, but now I know better. It's only a small part. It's the end point of the solution, not the starting point. So I wanted to start with a definition because sustainability is a pretty big word, and it's defined as the avoidance of depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. So it's defined as the avoidance of depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. And sustainability is an excellent practice in mindfulness. In order to be aware of your behavior, in order to change it, you must be mindful. You must be aware of the behavior. You must be notice the present impact of the behavior. And it's sustainability is mindfulness in action. It's noticing and taking alternative behaviors. In order to be sustainable, one really must become mindful and aware of what they are consuming and the total cost from start to finish of that product or behavior that they're using. And a great example of this is bottled water, which is something Center for Mindful Business took a 30-day challenge on in July. So in the United States, I don't think this is the same in European countries. European countries are way ahead of the United States in many, many things, and sustainability is absolutely one of them. But in the US, there's a significant use of single serving plastic bottles. So I usually pick on water because it's the easiest one, but we took a 30-day challenge to eliminate single serving bottles from our daily use. And that includes water bottles, Gatorade bottles, juice bottles, soda bottles, everything. So I'll be interested at the end here to hear how it went for people, if they did it and how it went. But sustainability is keeping in mind that when you consume something, it's not just the consumption, not just it in your hand, and then you get rid of it to the trash truck. It is that water is coming out of sometimes foreign countries, that is their water source, or simply municipal water sources that you already have access to because it's drinking water. And so municipalities across this country have started selling off their water rights to bottled water companies who then take a certain amount and then package it up, ship it, sell it, and takes it out of the local ecosystem, which is problematic. There's a lot to get into with water rights for indigenous people and locals and everything. We're not going to do that today, but we are going to discuss the impact of water bottles from start to finish. So if you think about not just the water being taken out of the ecosystem, but the water bottle itself. So you need to gather all the materials to make the plastic, to make the water bottle. You need to manufacture it somewhere. So wherever a water bottle is manufactured, sometimes it's in the US, sometimes it's not. Then those empty bottles get shipped to the bottling facility where they have the water, where they store the water. Then they get shipped either by boat, by cargo ship, or trucked across the United States to sell individually in all the locations across the United States. So that's gas and energy. Then you drive to the store where you buy the bottle of water that is municipal water, and then drive it home, and then drink it, and then you get your little 10 ounces of cool water whenever you want it. And then you take that water bottle and you hopefully throw it into recycling. But I would encourage you to check out Mr. Trash Wheel from Baltimore, Maryland. Mr. Trash Wheel is basically a trash water wheel that sits at the mouth of a river that connects into the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, and basically consumes. So they water wheel all of the trash that floats down the river in every rainstorm into dumpsters, tons and tons, and it's all individual water bottles. So if you don't recycle, so you throw your water bottle out the car, like happens here in Baltimore, it ends up in a waterway, and then it clogs everything up and harms wildlife. If you recycle, which seems like the right thing to do, then you take your bottle and you put it in, if you have curbside pickup for recycling, you take it to the recycling, and then the trash truck drives along and comes and picks it up and drives it to the recycling facility, which is an actual large scale factory where they send it through and they have people that sort out the things that aren't able to be utilized or recycled. Then they have to wash all the recycling. So that's a large amount of water and hot water and energy. And then it goes through all this processing, and then it gets compressed down, and then it gets trucked somewhere else to maybe be consumed or converted into another product. So then it becomes the product and then gets trucked back. So when you think about recycling, it's a good thing to do, but it's also the last step. And here in Baltimore County, where I am, we just started recycling glass. We previously, in the previous years that I have lived here, have not recycled glass because there is no market for any of the recycled materials, and everything here has to make money. So the things that you see that are labeled recyclable, like they have the symbol on them and the number, a majority of the things that are technically recyclable here aren't recycled. They go right into the trash dump. So onto someone's family farm. And I wanted to put in the chat, let's see, a link to, let's see, I had it up. A link to a short video called "The Story of Bottled Water," and this is where I learned about this this process and was horrified. And this video is actually what convinced me to stop using bottled water completely. It's called "The Story of Stuff." It's a short video. It's about 20 minutes long, and I would encourage you to watch it. Let's see. How can I paste into chat? There we go. The Story of Stuff project has fantastic short environmental videos on a variety of topics. So for sustainability purposes, recycling, so there's a phrase called reduce, reuse, recycle. And there's a lot of focus on the recycling part, but that's really the last option. It's the reduce and reuse that is the key drivers for sustainability. And reducing means inconveniencing and changing behavior. So for European countries, they've done an excellent job of denoting the fact that we live in community and we live in a healthy environment, and we want to keep it that way. So in order to do that, there has to be absolute recycling with a majority of your waste, but also a reduction in packaging and what you bring home. And is that packaging reusable or recyclable? But the primary driver is it reusable? And the recycling is the last part. So reducing is a personal behavior. As a personal behavior, what can you do right now to reduce impacts on the environment and consumption of something that you hold dear? So if you're into forests and trees, can you reduce the amount of single-use paper napkins or paper towels? If you're into water and water rights, can you give up bottled water and be inconvenienced by making sure you always have a water bottle carried with you? And maybe it's not going to be perfectly cool all the time, but if you carry a water bottle with you at all times, A, you stay hydrated because you find ways to get fresh water, and then B, you reduce a case of water is 24 bottles, I think. So that's 24 less bottles that have to be processed from start to finish. For my personal challenge, so I took the water bottle challenge at some point. I think it was 2017, and in 30 days, I was able to eliminate all my single-use water bottles. I gave up Gatorade, and I got powdered. I used powdered stuff instead, and just shook the bottle. And then it was a good way to quit drinking soda. And then I've worked on it from there. I've tried. I gave up paper towels, individual paper towels, and napkins. So I'm the weird person that has um, small rags everywhere, and I carry my own napkins. And single serving plastic forks and things too. That's something else you can give up. You carry your own silverware in a little packet. So it can be, so sustainability is it seems like a big lift. Personal sustainability seems like a big lift at first, but it's actually a very simple thing that you can do to contribute to the environment and to your community. And it reduces the amount of money you spend as well, because what if you gave up online shopping for a month and nothing came from any Amazon or anybody else? How many boxes would you not create to just have it shipped to you? How much gas would be saved? And how much less stuff would you have in your own home? I just did a basement purge. I've lived in this house for 13 years, and all my family has passed away over the past couple of years. So I've been packing, bringing stuff, family heirlooms and stuff, and then just putting it in the basement for some time when I was emotionally ready to deal with it. And that apparently was this year. And so I had to purge. I had a full basement that I emptied and put on the curb in very painful ways. And um, and then since then, I have realized I don't want to buy any more stuff to put in it. I want to keep it empty. So, does anybody have any questions before we get to the
Well,
meditation?
let's
Okay.
I wanted to jump in here, and Jennifer, I really liked your stories, and you made it very personal and concrete, because whatever you were describing, I think most people on this call, if not everyone on this call, can totally relate. I think everyone on this call, we're environmentally conscious, and we also live in the Western world, which is very focused on consumption. Europe less so than the U.S. So there's these struggles, right, and this addiction to convenience, etc. Um, tying sustainability back to mindfulness, I think one piece that is really critical is systems thinking. I'm kind of going higher level, broader level here. But you know how like recycling is the gateway to environmentalism. I think systems thinking and the awareness that we're all interconnected and not isolated beings. That is a huge connection between mindfulness and sustainability. When we have this awareness that we are interconnected, we increase empathy, um, and see us as a whole and not isolated beings. I think that's a huge piece there. And I'm going to write an article about my own experience trying to eliminate single plastic. It was incredibly challenging, and I'm the type to pick plastic out of garbage cans and put that in the I'm like one of those people, and it was incredibly difficult for me. So I'm going to write about that and then include your video with it and distribute that. But there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, I think it's actually almost impossible to eliminate single-use plastic as an individual. It requires infrastructure change. So it's both individual and systemic infrastructure change that's required. So I'll talk about that in the article. But Jennifer, so how can people connect with you after this call?
Through the Center for Mindful Business, or let's see, through the Blue Heron Environmental website, blueheronenvironmental.com. I'm in the process of eliminating social media, so I don't know if I'm going to be in the social media space for much longer. But through here. And I guess I want to mention that for mindfulness taught me no judgment. That's what I learned over my 2 years of my mindfulness course. The biggest thing for me was to approach any subject or any person and release judgment from it. So when you try these 30-day things, these 30-day challenges, just sit in the no judgment space of, this is hard, but I have no shame about it. I don't need to feel shame that I've done it, or I'm doing it the wrong way, or I can't do it right now, or I don't want to give that thing up. I'm running my air conditioning today. I don't want to give it up. It's hot, right? So it's all a balance. And also for mindfulness and trash specifically, contemplate when you throw something in the garbage, where does it go? Where is your trash dump? Is it an incinerator? Because those are being built in low-income neighborhoods, and those are very hard on the environment and the people. Is it an open dump where you've probably driven by one that had a lot of seagulls on it and large hills and trucks moving things around? Is it a new one that's built to modern standards and has lining and protects the environment? Or is it an old one where the lining isn't maintained or existing, and all of the juice that comes out of the trash filters down into the water? Sorry. And also, whose land was that?
Sobering. I love your passion around this. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. And so if anyone wants to connect with her, Center for Mindful Business or Blue Heron. Thank you.
Thank you.